They say when something terrible happens, the first thing you do is call the police. But what if they arrive and still can't help you? What if what's outside your door, or already inside, doesn't follow any rules? These are three true stories that pushed victims to the edge of fear, and where even the police were powerless to protect them. This first story happened on a quiet street in Ohio, to a young woman who discovered that sometimes the real nightmare doesn't begin until after you call for help. Marissa Morgan had only been in her new rental for a few weeks when the strange things began. It was a modest one-story home in a quiet suburb on Emerson Street, a place that looked safe, felt safe. She was a 27-year-old veterinary assistant, living alone for the first time, the kind of person who double-checks locks and keeps her curtains drawn. The first incident was small. She returned from work one evening to find her back door slightly ajar, not wide open, just enough that it swayed a little in the wind. She scolded herself. Must have left it loose this morning. But she couldn't shake the feeling that something wasn't right. She turned on every light in the house, checked each room, opened every closet. Nothing was missing, nothing out of place, just a chill in the air, like the house had been holding its breath all day. The second incident came 3 days later. Around 1 a.m., she heard it. 3 light taps on the bedroom window. Tap, tap, tap. She sat upright, heart pounding. She lived in the back of the house. No one should be back there. Silently, she crept out of bed and peeked through the blinds. Nothing. Just her overgrown backyard and the dark outline of the wooden fence. She tried to fall asleep, convincing herself it was a branch or the wind. But when morning came, she checked the window. There were fingerprints. Oily, smudged. 3 of them, pressed right against the glass. That same morning, she called the local police. An officer came by, asked some questions, jotted down a report. "It's probably a neighborhood kid messing around," he said casually. "We'll patrol the street more often." Marissa didn't feel reassured. That night, she installed motion lights and stuck a small camera outside the bedroom window. 2 nights later, the lights didn't help. At 1:14 a.m., they flicked on, bright and blinding. She jumped out of bed and checked her phone. The camera app had a notification. Motion detected 1:14 a.m. She opened the video. It was just a few seconds long. A tall figure in a hood stood completely still in her backyard, facing the window. He didn't move, didn't speak. He just stood there for 4 seconds, then vanished out of frame. She called 911 immediately. By the time the police arrived, he was gone. No footprints, no break-in, and once again, no help. Over the next week, the tapping returned every single night. Sometimes the window, sometimes the back door, once even the garage. The camera would pick up glimpses of movement, but never a face. A tall shape, black clothes, sometimes a glint, maybe from his eyes, or something metallic. The local officer told her, "We can't do much unless he tries to break in. Right now it's just trespassing technically." She felt like she was going crazy. So she bought new locks, added a second camera, kept her phone fully charged and next to her at all times. But the worst night was still to come. It was a Sunday, rainy, still. Around 2 a.m., she woke up to the motion alarm again. This time, no taps, no movement. Just silence. Until she checked the camera footage. The clip was different. The camera was still recording, but the feed was blurry, fogged. And then, suddenly, a face leaned right into view. Only it wasn't a full face. It was a mask. Old, cracked. A white porcelain mask with a stitched mouth and hollow black eyes, like something out of a nightmare. He leaned into the lens, tilted his head, then held up something. A photo. It was her. A printed photo of Marissa, standing outside the grocery store, smiling with a coffee in hand. She screamed. This time she didn't wait for the cops to arrive. She left, got in her car, drove to her sister's house across town. The next morning, she returned with 2 officers. The house was untouched. No signs of forced entry, nothing taken. But they found a chair placed right below her bedroom window, and on the grass nearby, a single Polaroid photo. A picture of her sleeping in bed, taken from outside the window. The police opened a case. They said they'd increase patrols. They offered to set up a camera across the street. But nothing came of it. No arrests, no suspects. The watcher on Emerson Street was never caught. And Marissa? She moved, changed her number, stopped using social media. But every now and then, around 2 a.m., she swears she hears tapping again.
Story 2. Don't let him hitchhike. This next story was shared by a man named Marcus, who was driving through Nevada to visit his family. A long, open stretch of desert highway, silent, empty, and unsettling even during the day. It was late, just after 10:30 p.m. when he first saw the man, walking alongside the road in the middle of nowhere. He didn't look threatening. Just out of place. Mid-30s, black trench coat, no bag, no flashlight, just walking in the dark, eyes down. Marcus felt a chill, but kept driving. Then, 10 minutes later, another man, dressed exactly the same face, walking the same way. Now Marcus was sure of it. He had seen that man already. Same coat, same face, same stride. But how? The last guy was way behind. He pushed the thought aside, turned on music, and kept going. But the next gas station was still 40 miles out. That's when it happened. His headlights caught something ahead. A car, parked sideways across the road, hazard lights on, hood up, like it had broken down right in the middle of the lane. Marcus slowed down. As he got closer, he saw him again. Same man. Same black trench coat. Standing behind the car. Only this time, he was staring directly at Marcus. Marcus braked, not sure if he should stop or drive around. Then, the man smiled. Wide. Too wide. Like he was stretching his face as far as it could go. Marcus didn't wait. He drove off-road around the car, tires kicking up dust, and sped off. In the rearview mirror, the man didn't chase. He just stood there, arms at his sides, still smiling. Marcus finally reached the gas station, ran inside, breathless, asking to call the police. An officer showed up 15 minutes later. He explained everything, twice. The officer nodded slowly. "You're not the first to report him," he said. "We get stories like this once or twice a year. Same description, same spot. But whenever we check, there's nothing. No car, no tracks, no man." Marcus demanded they check again. He even offered to take them back to the spot. But when they arrived, the road was empty. No tire marks, no parked car, just the dark stretch of desert. The officer said, "We call him the hitcher. Shows up when he wants, then vanishes." Marcus never took that road again. And to this day, he can't explain the man's face or why it looked so much like his own. Story 3. The thing the cops couldn't see. This story came from a father named Tom Caldwell, who lived on a wooded property in northern Michigan with his wife and 10-year-old son, Eli. The house sat isolated. No neighbors, no cameras, and no streetlights. Just acres of forest. It started with small things. Shadows at the edge of the tree line. The sound of gravel shifting at night. But by the third night, Tom knew something was wrong. It was around 2:20 a.m. when the sound woke him. A long, dragging noise, like someone pulling a stick across the gravel driveway. Slow and steady. Then, a tap at the kitchen window. Tom grabbed the flashlight and crept downstairs. Nothing. Just the porch light flickering. But when he stepped outside and looked down, he saw it. 3 long drag marks in the gravel, curved like claw trails. The next day, he found something worse. Footprints. Bare feet around Eli's window. Small, wet prints in the dirt, as if someone stood there all night. But Eli never woke up. Said he didn't hear a thing. Tom called the police. 2 deputies came out, walked the property, but found nothing. No signs of forced entry. Could be an animal, one said. Tom asked, "Animals don't have human feet." The deputy didn't respond. The next night, Eli woke up screaming. Said he saw a man standing in the trees, tall and still, whispering something. But when Tom ran outside, again, nothing. That's when he installed floodlights and motion sensors. They lit up at 1:13 a.m. Tom was ready this time. He stepped out with a baseball bat and saw it. Not a man, not an animal, something in between. Tall, maybe 7 feet. Pale. Its arms were too long, its head bent forward like it had no neck, and its legs bent the wrong way. It stood at the edge of the woods, watching. Tom froze. The creature didn't move, didn't blink. Then, in a single fluid step, it turned and vanished into the dark. No footsteps, no sound. Just gone. Tom called the sheriff again. This time, 4 officers came out. They searched the woods, found nothing. No prints, no fur, no signs. One officer pulled him aside and said, "You're not the first out here to report something like this. It usually starts with tapping or windows, then footprints. We've never found anything, but sometimes people disappear." That night, Tom put Eli in their bed, kept every light on. At 2 a.m. sharp, the power went out. Not just their house, the entire property. And through the dark, they heard it again. The dragging sound. Right outside their bedroom window. Then a knock. Soft. Rhythmic. Knock, knock, knock. Tom didn't go outside. He held Eli, whispered to his wife to stay silent. It went on for 3 full minutes. Then, silence. When morning came, there were no footprints. Just a handprint, smudged, high on the window. Too high for any person to reach. Tom packed the car that morning. They left and never went back. A few weeks later, he called the sheriff's office one last time. He wanted the report. They said there was none. No file, no record of officers dispatched, nothing about claw marks, nothing about the creature. Tom asked, "You're telling me none of those calls were logged?" The deputy hesitated and said, "Sir, I don't know what you saw out there, but whatever it was, it didn't come from here."
We're taught to believe that help is just a phone call away, that when the police show up, the fear ends. But in these stories, even the people with badges and flashlights couldn't stop what was outside. Maybe it was a stalker. Maybe something worse. Maybe something not human at all. And in the end, when the shadows grow long, when you hear the knock on your window at 2 a.m., the only thing more terrifying than being alone is realizing that even help can't save you.